Peace. If you profess to be a grown man or a grown woman, then it's time for you to act accordingly to that reality in which you are professing. See, nowadays we have too many grown men and grown women out here justifying their savage ways and actions. And when it comes down to teaching the babies, we are instructing them to not do as I do, but do as I say. Well, that's irrelevant and contradictory when we are not even disciplined enough to do as we say. How does that sound, man? That's corny and very hypocritical. When we tell a child to not do as I do, but do as I say, but we are not disciplined enough to follow our own advice. And we don't understand that babies are intelligent. They pay attention to your words and they pay attention to your actions. And when the words and actions don't correlate, you have a confused young mind. And we wonder why the babies are easily led in the wrong direction and are easily led by people outside of their own communities. We wonder why the television or the streets can grip or grab a hold of the mind of our babies and we can't, because we sitting around telling them to do one thing and we turn around and do that in which we inform them not to do. We need to stop being hypocrites. We need to stop being contradictory. We need to make sure our words correlate with our actions, especially when we are around our children. We need to be the first role models of our children, not the television screen, not these gangs, not the streets. They need to see the adults putting in the work in which they say they are putting in. We do not need to continue being weak-minded as adults, turning to drugs and other bad habits to cope with the reality in which we are forced to live in on earth. We can deal with our problems in a more professional and a more righteous manner. They do not need to see you turn into that bottle, acting like this world is so tough that you can't deal with it without that liquor, man. You can deal with any problem in this universe without turning to some type of drugs, man. You can deal with it sober, and it's easy to deal with it. And the children, they need to see that. They need to see you dealing with problems in a righteous manner without that liquor, without that weed, man. Put those drugs, put those substances down for a minute and deal with problems in a sober manner. And let the babies know that we can deal with things in a sober manner. We can fight white supremacy without dealing with drugs, man, without doping ourselves up and without being so damn drunk to where we can't even remember what we did yesterday. That is not the only way to cope with problems, man. But we want to tell them not to drink, not to smoke this weed, not to be doped up, this, that, and the third, but we're not even disciplined enough to follow that. We're not disciplined enough to live that lifestyle, and we wonder why, when they watch us, that they follow in the footsteps that we are leading them to. We wonder why. Because we telling them to do one thing, and we turn around and do the same thing in which we are telling them not to do. That doesn't make any sense. And we wonder why we have corrupted generation after corrupted generation. We need to take a look in the mirror as adults. We need to quit criticizing the younger generation and saying they won't listen, say they ignorant, say they this, that, and the third, they negative, da 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 da. Well, if they are this, that, and the third, they negative. If they are ignorant, then maybe that's a reflection of our mind state as adults, as the adults that's raising them. We need to look into the mirror instead of criticizing them. See, you don't want to hold yourself accountable for that. We don't like accountability in this world today, man. We want to blame everything on everybody outside of self instead of holding ourselves accountable for our situation in our own community. Man, look in the mirror. The babies are corrupted because we are corrupted. We need to stop separating ourselves from each other, man. We are one. The black community, everybody with the melanin, we are one. So the babies are not separate from you and you are not separate from the babies. If the babies are corrupted and ignorant, you are corrupted and ignorant. You need to change your mind state and you need to become righteous so the babies can become righteous. It's all on you. Quit putting that power outside of self. Quit putting that power outside of self. Quit extracting the power from yourself and understand that you had the power to change the reality within yourself and change the reality for the future generations that's watching you and emulating all your moves. Because trust me, somewhere a baby is watching you. Someone younger is watching you. They paying attention to the way that you are moving. And they are yearning for a role model. They are yearning for a father figure. They are yearning for a mother figure because they were not blessed enough to have one. So you can be that mother figure or that father figure to that fatherless or motherless child. But since you want to live a hypocritical life, now you have misled that child and now they are corrupted. So you should be mindful of the ways in which you choose to conduct yourself, man, because somebody is always watching you, man. Peace.